So just yesterday we had the Genshin 4.5 livestream, and well, there is a lot to say about it. There was some kind of good things, but a lot of it was bad. And I'm just going to start this video off with a tweet from Braxophone here, and he says, I don't know if I have the strength to do it, and pretty much he's referring to the situation that blew up the whole Genshin drama in the first place, where Xorox pretty much compared Doro and Tectone with their reactions for the 4.4 livestream, and now we're back again with the 4.5, but they're doing the opposite, which is kind of funny. We got Doro here looking kind of disappointed, we got Bran here looking also disappointed, and then we got Tectone, who's making the weirdest face possible and saying it's insane, which obviously it isn't, and he's just kind of making fun of that whole situation. But what actually makes this update so bad? Well, one of the things mentioned in this stream was the Chronicled Wish, which is pretty much what everyone is talking about whenever it comes to this update, whether it be positive or negative, because there are actually some varying opinions about this, which both kind of have validity. So if you don't know what the Chronicled Wish is, it's pretty much a new banner that's coming to Genshin, and it will be event limited. And on this banner, you can get any of these 5-star characters here. I'm pretty sure there was a few others that they added too, and also you can get some 5-star weapons as well, which is really great for any players that kind of miss out on banners and don't really want to spend their primo gems on characters that are going at the same time of a new character. And honestly, from this perspective, it's pretty great, and that's what many people are arguing, that we've got a banner like this and it could be amazing. But bear in mind, this banner is still limited, so we could be seeing a different set of characters coming in the future, which will be kind of cool as well. We could get some, you know, proper limited characters that are a little bit better than these ones, because this is an argument that people were saying was that some of these characters aren't good enough, and that we need some actual good characters on this banner. I mean, there are some pretty decent ones. I mean, Eula's pretty good. We got Mona and also Diluc, who's kind of got back into the meta ever since Janyan came out because he has the most plunge damage. So, you know, I could see why many people are excited to get something like this. And pretty much the premise of the banner is whenever you roll on the banner, you can choose a character or a weapon that you want to get. And then whenever you pull on the banner, you get a 50-50 chance, just like any other banner, which means you get a 50% chance of getting the character or weapon that you chose, or pretty much you have another 50% chance of getting anything else on this banner. But to be fair, Genshin has actually done something good for once, and they said that if you chart a course for one of these characters, then you will get another character, rather than, you know, pulling for a character and then you end up with like Sky or Blade or something, which would really suck. So at least they've done something good here. And pretty much this works like any usual banner. If you don't get the character that you want, the next roll will be guaranteed, which this is just really good if you're missing something out. I mean, Navia's came out and she works pretty well with Albedo, so being able to get an Albedo whenever you want is actually pretty decent. And the same goes for the 5-star weapons too. If you want a certain weapon for a certain character that will make them so much better, then at least you have like almost a guaranteed chance of getting this. But now we move on to where this all goes wrong. And yeah, me personally, I think this first part with just the banner is great, but the details later on make this a whole lot worse, and honestly just makes the whole banner terrible. With the first point being that you actually have to use limited wishes to pull on this banner. As you know, as you play Genshin, you get a ton of standard wishes from the battle pass and just completing a ton of other stuff, and sometimes you don't really want characters like Jean or Diluc. And it would have just been really nice for Genshin to use standard wishes on this banner, because it just makes sense. I mean, all of these characters aren't particularly insane, so it's not like people are going to get bored of the characters that they have. And honestly, Genshin players will just be thankful because they have something else to spend their standard wishes on. But no, Genshin has decided that you can only get this banner with Intertwined Fate, which just sucks, because standard wishes would be so good. But that isn't the only problem with the banner. I'm pretty sure they made this overly complicated just to kind of confuse players so they don't actually realize how bad of an update this actually is. They've just put a ton of questions and answers, you know, outlining everything that's going on. But this question down here, which they've cleverly put underneath all of this image and all of this text just to kind of hide it at the bottom, it says, when the Chronicled Wish event ends, will my accumulated wishes carry over to the next Chronicled Wish? And this is kind of implying that there will be another Chronicled Wish in the future, maybe with some new characters and stuff, which is kind of cool. And it says, how about the fate points for Chronicled Path? The wish guarantee count for Chronicled Wish is independent of the guarantee counts for other wish types. Your fate points will not be carried over to the next Chronicled Wish. Your fate points will be reset to 0 when the current Chronicled Wish ends, which is really the big problem that everyone had with this update. As you know, already on the weapon banner, we have fate points, which pretty much build up whenever you don't get the weapon you want, and eventually it will let you have a guaranteed weapon. And they're pretty much implementing a similar system here, except on the weapon banner, they actually have 2 fate points, whereas this one is just 1. But what they've said in this question and answer is pretty much that these fate points won't be carried over to the next banner. So say you lose your 50-50 on the first time, and then you start building up more primos for the next banner, or you just forget to, or something like that. Whenever the next banner comes around, that fate point will be gone, and you have a chance of getting a 50-50 again, which is just insane because you spent all of those primo gems or all of those wishes or whatever just to get a guaranteed character, and then they just take it away from you because, you know, new banner. So yeah, I think this is a terrible update, and obviously this is something that Genshin could easily fix, so I really want to talk about this because I want as many people talking about this too, because if we bring attention to it, maybe Genshin will make some kind of change where the fate points will go over, and the same goes for the standard wishes too. And I also just wanted to talk about the overall livestream in general because this was an absolute I'll be real. So we did actually have the announcement of a new 5-star called Chiori. She is a Geo character and she actually looks pretty good. Her design is amazing. As she's a kind of fashion designer character, they made her swords look like scissors, which was, you know, really cool. But it just kind of sucks that she's Geo because she pretty much won't have any use at all. Geo characters are kind of in the mud at the moment ever since Dendro came out. So maybe if we get an update with Geo, she might be even better. But honestly, her character design's good, which is great. But yeah, that's about it for her. And as for the rest of the update, if I just kind of go through here, you can see this update is 25 minutes long. Well, the live stream is 25 minutes long and they don't really announce a whole lot. And this just kind of sucks. I know that we do get filler updates and, you know, there is times when there will be not as much content as previous updates, but, you know, 25 minutes and we've got a couple of events. I mean, we did get this announcement, which was very cool. Apart from all the small details that I mentioned that kind of make this terrible. So many players watching this live stream got super excited not to know that this banner is actually really bad and that it doesn't really provide anything to us that useful. Apart from maybe the fact that if you want one of these characters, then that's great for you. Yeah, Genshin announced a few events too. I mean, there was this one in Mondstadt which is to do potions. It looks kind of cool. And they've got a new like polearm coming out, I'm pretty sure. Yes, they got a new polearm called the Dialogues of Desert Sages, which may be a good weapon, I don't know. But yeah, there's really not that many events either, and they're not that captivating, if you get what I mean. I mean, this cat one looks kind of cool, it looks kind of cute and everything, and I love cats, so this is great. But it's just the sheer amount that we're lacking. I mean, I know there are filler patches in Genshin, but like, they have the same amount of time to prepare this. And so surely if you do have a filler patch, which is fine because there are many events and updates that are being worked on, why not stuff it full of events? I mean, they could have added so many more events here, which would have been so much more exciting, but they just didn't, which, you know, it doesn't feel great. Yeah, they added some other slime events and stuff too, which, you know, they looked alright. And then for about the last 5 minutes, they talk about the training guide, which I did talk about in a previous video, and how terrible that is just for creators and also people using it. Because this training guide could give you a completely wrong build for a character. I mean, it's very easy to mess it up, and it really depends on what teams you're using. So yeah, this update isn't great either. And there's also this little bit in the middle, which just kind of felt like it was filler. I mean, the voice actors took a ton of time with their voice acting and also waiting for this machine to work. And I mean, looking at the timeline, they've wasted like a minute and a half just doing this because, you know, they had no other content to announce. I mean, this is a special program. You announced new content here and they've just kind of added it with filler, which again isn't great. And finally, we had the banners announced too. So we obviously have Chiori here and Ito is going to be on the second banner here. And I mean, with the state of Geo at the moment, I really, you know, it's meh. It's meh. If you like these characters, then great. But apart from that, it's not really meta changing or anything for people looking for better characters. But we also have phase 2, which is actually a kind of good banner. I mean, this is really good. We got Nuvalet and Kazuha, who are two, as you know, meta characters in quotation marks. I mean, it depends how you use them. But yeah, they're very good characters. And you know, it's a pretty decent banner. So yeah, that is one positive you can take away from this live stream. But all in all, I think that, you know, the events, they lacked and just everything lacked. This just wasn't a great update at all. And as I mentioned, this banner just turns out to be kind of a scam. Imagine having a fate point taken away from you because, you know, Genshin decide to change the banner whenever they want to. You used all of your wishes and now you can't even get, you know, a guaranteed character. So I hope they fix that in the future. I really do, because that could be a massive issue for a lot of players. And well, I just hope that 4.6 will be a better update than this, because yes, I know there's filler updates and I've said this so many times, but you know, maybe 4.6 might be a little less filler. Maybe we'll have a dance live quest, which we sometimes do, which will be very cool because it's very lore heavy and it will progress the story more. But for 4.5, this will be a very forgettable update, and pretty much all we'll remember from this update is that Chiori came out. And that's about it. Oh, well, maybe the cats too. They're kind of cool. Yeah, all in all, another Genshin L here. I mean, I talked the other day about the terrible training guide situation and how people are boycotting the game even more. So maybe this will further add to the boycott, I don't know. But I'm sure there'll be many people that see this update and just think, well, maybe it's time to just stop because this is terrible. So yeah, anyways, that's all I got for this video. But if you want to let me know what you think about this live stream, then let me know in the comments because I'm really interested to see. And yes, you may notice that I do look a bit different here because although I'm recording this before my debut, I had my new VTuber debut, so yes, this will be the new model that I'm using. I hope you guys like it. It is very cool. And yeah, I will still be making a ton of content, and go over to Twitch too, because I'll be talking about a lot of this kind of stuff, and even just playing, you know, Honkai and Genshin, and maybe even like Wuthering Waves and stuff in the future too, which will be really fun. So yeah, that's all I got for this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. That's all. See ya!